Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, the 20th of July 2021. Just real quick, not a lot to say because we gapped down what could have been a nice day and we got the move down we were looking for, and we'll talk about that in a second, but unfortunately we gapped for all of it. So it didn't really give us any big opportunities, and it's just not an ideal day for traders, unfortunately. But hopefully hopefully a little bit of energy release there means we're going to start to see some action, even though it is summertime. The core 8 days of earnings do not start until next Tuesday, so it's not the 20th, it's the 27th if you look at when the earnings lie out. So we're still a week away from that, but hopefully we can get some action and continue through without just gapping and sitting, as you'll see in a minute. Here's the ES front month futures contract. I'm showing you the weekly chart first. I just wanted to point out sometimes, this is kind of one of those signals where we got the 13 sell signal. We kind of went up and tested the risk line. Remember, you have to close on the weekly candles here, not the daily candles. We did manage to just close above it 2 Fridays ago. And then Monday of that week, we were above the high. So that breaks the risk line, but immediately fell back under it. So just don't write this signal off yet, because now we're down. We were down sharply today. And again, if that signal ends up being something, we're going to need 9 weeks down, or else to go down to the red static trend line at 3210, which is very possible as well. Let's go switch to the daily chart just so we can see that real quick. And again, you can see we've broken. We're still above. If you draw a trend line going back to the beginning of this daily chart, we're still right above the trend line. But another move down for much, and we're going to be in trouble here. Basically under 4,200 or so, there's going to be a mess. In terms of the daily charts, crude oil 66.52, so it did sell off again, or it sold off sharply here, but this is where it's closing closed today. Gold up $9.20. S&P cash, like I said, lost 68.67, so that's not pretty. Nasdaq 100 down 132. That's off the lows by 90 points or 80 points or so. The frustrating part is we ended up basically closing where we opened, or close to it, on both of these indices, so it's not exactly a tradable environment, which sucks when you get a down day like that. Stocks up 2, doesn't really matter. The biotech's up 38, which doesn't do much either. Russell 2000 down 32. So that's near the lows of the last 6 months. That's telling by itself, by the way. The VIX was up 4.05 to 2250. If you look at the VXX, the tradable VIX, also jumped quite a bit there. Trend closes at 1.56, puts the 10-day at 1.31. So that's not any kind of signal we usually look at. Nasdaq volume was almost 4.5 billion shares. Let's put it that way. Advanced decline ratio on the Nasdaq was very negative, negative 1690. So more stocks down than up. On the New York, negative 2290. That's one of the worst of the year. Definitely in the bottom 3. So that's not good for breadth for the market, and that's part of the problem right now. Google loses $47.84. Remember, it had the 13 sell signal back on Wednesday of last week, so there's that. Apple down $3.94. This almost left a floating island, not quite, but it's still an ugly pattern anyway you look at it. Netflix managed to close up $1.97. Amazon down 24.04 on a gap, closed higher than it opened, though, as Jeff Bezos prepares to go out into space tomorrow. Tesla up 2 points. Facebook down 4.21. Again, this one also working off of that 13 sell signal that we saw about a week ago. Zoom down $7.77. Goldman Sachs down $10.08. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, up 3.25 on a gap. The Dow was down 725 points. Bitcoin is currently under 30,000 at 29. And by the way, there's a buy signal on the daily chart of Bitcoin, and we're right up against the risk line. So we'll see how this goes on the cryptos, right? That's the thing. But it is under 30,000 at the moment. In terms of 5-minute candles, you can see here's the problem. We gapped down. We were kind of flat. We kind of went lower. Things started to get exciting, but then came back. Tried to go lower again over lunch, didn't go anywhere, dead flat, and then curled up in the last few minutes. Almost got back into the opening 5-minute candle. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq side basically closed inside the opening 5-minute candle. So that's not a tradable day. It doesn't really do much for our scans for tomorrow. So we'll be calling it from the tape from there. And like I said, core earnings season. We're past options expiration. We don't have a lot of key data this week, but core earnings season does not start until next week. So we do have housing starts and building permits now before the bell tomorrow. That's about it here in the U.S. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Tuesday.